One of the coolest ships in the original trilogy was nearly lost to the sands of time before being rescued from a filing cabinet by a Star Wars legend. That story and more in today's video. I'm Joey from Radio Free Coruscant, and this is the Dornean Gunship. Design. The Dornean Braha'tok Fleetworks conglomerate Braha'tok-class gunship was a rugged and simple corvette design. It featured a long, roughly rectangular body festooned with several fins of various sizes, numerous antennae and sensors, and several turbo lasers. It was tipped with a wide hammerhead section at the front, like many of the ships used by the Rebellion, and had 3 engines at the rear and 2 large communications dishes on the sides. The ship was intended for anti-Starfighter screening, but was powerful enough to be used in a wide variety of roles. Little is known of the Dornean gunship's interior, but its command bridge was located at the bow. In real life, the Braha'tok was designed as a background ship for Return of the Jedi by ILM model maker Bill George. He created the ship in just 2 days, kit-bashing together a number of existing pieces to get it finished quickly. It would appear that a couple of the fins came from a Slave 1 model, though I don't know if we know for sure what all went into it. Art director Joe Johnston was not pleased with the finished gunship, saying it looked like something from Battlestar Galactica, and gave it such a small role in the film that Bill didn't even realize it had made it into the film at all for years. In 2003, legendary Star Wars lore advisor Pablo Hidalgo discovered reference photos of the model in a Lucasfilm filing cabinet while researching the Cantina aliens, and published them to StarWars.com. 3 years later, StarWars.com member LO137 wrote a backstory for this ship for the official Star Wars fan club's What's the Story contest, naming it the Dornean Gunship and securing a place for it in Star Wars canon forever. However, the ship would not be seen again until 2016, when it appeared in the Rebel fleet in Rogue One. The Star Wars Rebels team adapted it for animation to appear in the Season 3 finale, and then translated that model back to live action for Rogue One, which, amusingly enough, came out first. And of course, with a high-quality 3D asset for the ship made, it has gone on to appear a couple more times in live action since, though it still remains elusive. Specifications. The Dornean Gunship measured 90 meters long by about 37 meters wide and 20 meters tall. It had a Class 3 hyperdrive with a Class 15 backup and a top speed of 800 kilometers per hour. It was extremely well armed with a total of 8 concussion missile launchers and 8 double turbo lasers. It could also carry a complement of 2 X-Wing starfighters in ventral docking clips. The ship required a crew of 70 and could carry 15 passengers, 300 tons of cargo, and 8 months of consumables. It cost 1.4 million credits. History. Relatively little is known about the history of the Braha'tok-class gunship. It was created to protect the planet of Dornia and its star system from the Empire, and many of them ended up joining the Rebel Alliance as well. They were in use by the Rebels at least as early as 4 BBY. 3 were a part of the Masasi Group cell, and were destroyed in the Battle of Atollon in 2 BBY. 3 more joined the Rebel Navy in the Battle of Scarif, with at least 1 surviving the battle. After the Battle of Yavin a short time later, Dornia decided to officially join the Rebellion itself, providing even more gunships to the Rebel cause. They served the Alliance in several key operations throughout the war, but their largest engagement by far was the Battle of Endor, which several more Braha'toks were present for. 1 guarded Alliance rescue vessels recovering escape pods and damaged starfighters, and at least 4 engaged the Imperial blockade. In Legends, a Braha'tok named Braha'tok solo-dueled an Imperial Carrack cruiser 4 times its size and was nearly destroyed, but was instead saved by the Torque-Tarak, who attacked the Carrack from the rear and finished it off. After the battle, the Torque-Tarak returned to Dornia for minor repairs, and the Braha'tok was scheduled to be scuttled by Admiral Akbar. However, the Dornian Navy objected to this, and took that ship back to Dornea as well, where it was converted into a museum. After the Galactic Civil War, many Dornean gunships stayed in the service of the Dornean Navy, and likely the New Republic Navy too. Some found their way into the hands of pirates who used them to raid local shipping lanes. One of these could be seen at the pirate outpost of Port Borgo in 9 ABY. And finally, like many ships, several Braha'tok gunships joined the Citizens' fleet in the final fight against Darth Sidious in the Battle of Exegol. And that's everything there is to know about the Dornean Gunship. Let me know what you think of this ship, and what other ships you'd like to see covered in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. RFC, out.